This meeting is now called to order. For roll call, everyone is present this evening. We'll take a moment for reflection and respect, please. Thank you. Confirmation of agenda.
That Council adopts the agenda for the meeting of June 1st, 2020 as presented.
Someone to move it and second it. Councillor Barber and Councillor Charlton. Are there any questions or concerns? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Approve minutes.
That Council approves the following minutes. Regular Council virtual session held on May 25th, 2020.
Someone to move it? Deputy Mayor Andrews and seconded by Councillor Oslach. Any questions or concerns? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. The next item up is received minutes.
That Council receives the following minutes. Main Street Elmer held on February 20th, 2020.
Okay, a mover. Councillor Barber and seconded by Councillor, Chapman. Are there any questions or concerns? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. And the next item up is the consent agenda.
That items A to C of the June 1st, 2020 consent agenda be adopted as presented, with actions to be taken as noted.
Okay, someone to move that resolution. Councillor Chapman and seconded by Deputy Mayor Andrews. Are there any questions or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. The next item up is a report from the CAO. It's 4520.
That report CAO 4520, entitled Pool Opening in YWCA Pool Program Contract, be received for information, and that Council endorse and support the YWCA decision to cancel recreational swimming and swimming lessons for the 2020 season, and further, that Council amend the existing agreement with the YWCA and extend the terms by 1 year.
Okay, someone to move this resolution. Deputy Mayor Andrews and seconded by Councillor Charlton. Are there any questions or comments concerning this report? Did you have anything further to add, Jenny, other than what's in the report?
No, I don't believe so, Your Worship. I think it's fairly straightforward.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thanks. The next item up is report CAO 4720.
That report CAO 4720, entitled Go for Gold Grad Campaign, be received for information, and that Council endorse the lighting of Town Hall in support of the Go Gold for Grad campaign on June 25th, 2020.
Okay, someone to move this. Councillor Oslach and seconded by Deputy Mayor Andrews. Are there any questions or comments about this? Deputy Mayor Andrews? Sorry, Deputy Mayor Andrews, we can't hear you.
How's that?
That's better, thank you.
Yay, thanks. I was double muted. I think this is a great gesture that we can support the grads in our communities. And I mean, they've put so much time and effort into the school year and the 4 years, possibly 5 years they've been there. It's very sad to see what's happened to them. So this is amazing that we are going to support them in this way, at least.
Yes, and I have to agree with you. I think it's wonderful because I think a lot of our students are so sad because they're not going to be able to do the things that the other, like their brothers, sisters, other relatives and friends have got to do. So if this, at least if we can do this, is it's showing some support. And I agree with it. So are there any other comments or questions about this? Jenny, did you have a comment?
Yes, just one more comment that wasn't included in the report. We received some additional correspondence today in relation to this program, and they are encouraging that not only do the municipalities light up a facility in support of this, but that in fact all the individuals do as well. So maybe we'll light up the sky on the 25th, if you will.
Sure, that sounds great. Any further questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. The next report up is CAO 4820.
That report, CAO 4820, entitled Emergency Control Group Recovery Plan, be received for information.
Okay, someone to move this resolution? Councillor Charlton, seconded by Councillor Ham. Jenny, did you want to speak to this first before I take questions or concerns? Just maybe
Certainly.
You can answer some of the stuff in advance.
Okay, certainly, Your Worship. So I'll just go through the materials just briefly, and then we'll try to answer questions as they come up. So as Council knows, the town has declared an emergency on March the 18th, and that's due to the health impacts of COVID-19. The province ordered the closure of all but essential services, and that was to flatten the curve of the virus. There's currently no cure or vaccine to control the spread. Provincial orders have now been put in place to safeguard the public from exposure and to manage the number of cases at any one time, and that's to ensure the health agencies are not overwhelmed. The province released a framework for reopening with clear messaging that reopening plans at the local level, while permissible, should happen when it's safe to do so. So the province reopening progression may start and stop as needed to manage the spread, and that's based on active case numbers at any given time. And the town emergency control group is actively working toward the recovery of services in a methodical and safe manner, with the priority being for safety of the town residents and the staff that serve them. So again, going back, the province has introduced a 3-phase provincial plan that was released on April the 27th. It does not include any timing or hard and fast dates, which allows them to be flexible and responsive to the spread of the virus as time goes on. The town has also developed a 3-phase recovery that mirrors that of the provincial plan, and to be consistent in the messaging that the province has released to the general public. And also the town's plan is it lacks hard and fast dates, and again, the same as the province, so that we can be flexible and react to the active cases as time goes on. The control group is focusing on the development of plans to bring staff back to the workplace that provides a safe environment for the staff and public. Consideration for recovery include adhering to provincial orders, coordination with public and private partners, risk tolerance, ensuring that we have adequate staff and resources, and ensuring safety protocols are in place. Staff training is currently being developed as we speak, and this training will be delivered virtually, which is, I think, the first time we've done that at the staff level. And processes and controls are being developed that allow for more face-to-face interaction with the public as required. Policies and procedures are being developed to ensure that staff safety, as well as procedures are being developed to ensure safe access for the public. Each municipality will be unique in how they develop their process and require adjustments based on the actual physical buildings and the numbers of people that typically work within those buildings. Current areas of focus include enhanced cleaning and sanitizing, limiting the number of staff and residents in any facility or area, engineering controls for social distancing. So, for example, point of sale technology, plexiglass barriers, floor and wall signage for social distancing, as well as technology solutions that allow for remote work. So, for example, the virtual council and planning meetings that are taking place. So in phase 1 of the town plan, that is essentially where we've just come from, where the province closed all essential services mid-March, and then they developed a reopening plan on April the 27th. Phase 2, you'll start to see the reopening of certain services, and the town is planning what we're calling a soft reopening on June the 15th that will allow for access for services at Town Hall by appointment only, allowing for additional staff to be located in the physical work environment. We're anticipating other town amenities will also be reintroduced. So, for example, some of the parks amenities. And the control group is planning for a gradual reopening that will be based on provincial and health information. All reopening plans will be posted on the website. So we encourage people to visit there often because as these plans need to be adjusted as time goes on, they will be updated there. And then in phase 3, we would anticipate all facilities and public areas to be open. I expect there still will be some controls in place, but it will be more wide open than it currently is. In phase 1, we saw, of course, some of those closures announced. The plans for the closure of programs and the services that we needed to close took time for us to plan and implement. And likewise, it will take us some time to develop plans and implement plans for reopening. We are anticipating some areas of reopening may include services offered at Town Hall, tennis courts, basketball courts, disc golf, and pavilions. And we're working on mechanisms and safeguards that ensure physical distancing and maximum grouping sizes are not exceeded. As an introduction and means of testing our processes, we will begin a soft reopening in order that any required adjustments can be made. The procedures and processes in each municipality may not be exactly the same, so it's not like you can look at what your neighbors are doing and expect exactly the same thing. Many amenities are different from municipality to municipality. We don't all offer the same sorts of things. And of course, our buildings are considerably different that we work in. And so adjustments need to be made according to the buildings. So for example, just to give you an example there, virtual council meetings may need to go on longer for Aylmer, for example, than they may in other areas, simply because our building, the council room is significantly smaller than it may be in other municipalities. So, and currently, just so council and the public are aware, currently play equipment, pools, and splash pads are not permitted to be reopened at this time. During phase 3, we can expect that most facilities and amenities will reopen and more services will be available at Town Hall, provided that we do screening of the public. And council meetings may continue virtually, or they may be a hybrid where there's some virtual component as well as some members within the council chamber. The development of a reopening plan is evolving as we speak and will be monitored with adjustments made as required and specific to provincial orders. Council and the public will continue to receive updates as they're developed, and all information, again, will be posted on our website. In addition, the town receives quite a bit of information from the provincial and federal governments as well as public health. And we try to keep our website updated in relation to all the information that's shared with us from those other levels of government as well as public health.
Okay, thank you, Jenny. Are there any questions for Jenny? Councillor Oslach?
Yes, I have had several telephone calls and messages from concerned citizens about tennis courts and sports fields and that. And you answered my questions basically, and we're entering phase 2. I understand. So, Jenny, is there any timeline on this opening of phase 2, or what's the status right now?
Jenny?
Through you, Your Worship. Again, no hard and fast dates at this stage. However, I can tell you that the control group is working toward June the 15th. That's kind of our magical soft reopening date. And we are working towards that in relation to some of the park's amenities. We are likely to see a gradual reopening of we have kind of 4 areas that remain closed that are now permitted under the provincial orders. And so we are working towards a gradual reopening of those, and based on some advice that we are currently receiving from Southwest Public Health as well as our solicitor.
Okay, Councillor Barber.
Thank you, Your Worship. Understanding that these are challenging times for everybody, the plan looks to be logical and reasonable, and actually well written. If anybody wants to know what the plan is, it's right there, and it's a good document to consult and be aware. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Councillor Barber. Any further questions for Jenny? Councillor Charlton?
Through Your Worship, yeah, it's a great report, and I think we're doing it right. We don't want to have to go back, and so yeah, being cautious and opening gradual is the best way. Thank you.
And anyone else? Oh, Jenny, do you have another comment?
Yeah, just one comment. I thank you all for the comments in relation to the report. I do want to identify and thank the members of the Emergency Control Group for assisting in pulling that together, as well as the enormous amount of work they've done in closing and then making plans for reopening. The group has really worked well together, and they've been of great help in developing the plans for the town.
I just wanted to share a few things with council. Like, we don't get a chance that often to share a lot of the information, but I got a few numbers here, and it'll give you some insight to what the emergency management group's been doing and what our staff have been doing, and all the hard work we've been doing to try and keep our citizens safe, as well as our staff. So as you know, the town of Aylmer has their own emergency management group, and we meet once or twice a year, but we do some other things, and we do mock emergencies and those types of things. But we were never, ever ready for something like this, because this is a global pandemic. So it's a lot to take in, and it's been quite difficult wading through this whole thing. So just to give you some insight, our own Aylmer Emergency Operations Group, we've met 16 times since this started. I also belong to the Elgin County Emergency Operation Group, as well as our CAO and other members of our staff. We've had 8 meetings. I also meet with the Elgin County Emergency Group. It's the mayors, and it's the member of parliament and the member of provincial parliament. We've had 2 meetings. Jenny, on a regular basis, and I'm involved in this if I choose to be, meet with Southwest Public Health, and there have been 40 to 50 meetings since this started. Our fire chief meets at least weekly with the provincial counterparts that he works with, and our police chief works like all the time with his counterparts, as well as some of these other groups that I've mentioned. He sits on all those committees. So to say that this is overwhelming is putting it mildly. Our staff have worked day and night since this has happened. And I can tell you, just from my own position, I've done a lot more work. I thought I was busy before. I'm much busier now. It's just crazy, the amount of meetings and the amount of information. So I just want to take this opportunity to thank our staff, because it's just been so overwhelming. And I think that people really need to understand where we're at. And I think a lot of people don't understand the fact that we take direction from the province. That's what a municipality is. We follow the Municipal Act, and the Municipal Act comes from the province. So we can't act on our own. We have to follow the rules of the province. And a lot of people find that very difficult, but that's what we have to do. That's our job as councillors, to represent our municipality. So just so we all know, because I'm sure you're getting calls from people saying, oh, come on, you can just, you're the council, just make some new rules. No, we can't do that. We have to follow the provincial laws. And our police, unfortunately, because of provincial laws, they have to follow those laws. And there are times when they have to enforce. And so far it's been okay, but there's always that chance, and our police have to work diligently. So I just need you all to understand, and our residents that are listening tonight, that there's a lot involved in this. So that's my little spiel for tonight. But I just felt that council really deserved to hear what's been going on and what the staff have been doing. So again, thanks to the staff, because you've done an outstanding job. Are there any further questions, comments? Okay, all those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, the next item up is report CORP 1720.
That report, Corp 1720, entitled Raglan Street Road Allowance Lease, be received for information, and that council consider giving 3 readings to the bylaw authorizing the mayor and clerk to execute the 1-year lease agreement extension for Part 1 on reference plan 11R 8256.
Okay, someone to move this resolution? Councillor Chapman, and seconded by Councillor Charlton. Are there any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. And the next report up is Corp 1820.
That report, Corp 1820, entitled Old Town Hall Theatre HVAC Replacement, be received for information, and that council directs staff to move forward with the replacement of both the heating and air conditioning units servicing the Old Town Hall Theatre, and that council authorize accepting the quote from Coolin Electric for the heating replacement totaling $49,885, and the air conditioning replacement totaling $49,585, and further, that council authorize the transfer of the additional funds required over the $95,000 budget amount from the municipal building reserve.
Okay, someone to move this resolution? Deputy Mayor Andrews, and seconded by Councillor Barber. Are there any questions or comments about this report? Cale, did you have anything further you'd like to add?
Through your worship, just for a point of clarity, I don't think it was included in the report. This transition will also, it's the last phase of the reconditioning of the Old Town Hall HVAC systems. In 2018, we did the downstairs library area. This does the theater area, which sets us up well for a number of years going forward. And it modernizes the heating system there from electric heat currently to natural gas heat, which should show considerable operating savings and better air quality in the theater going forward.
Okay, thank you for that, Cale. Are we ready to vote, or do you have some questions for Cale? Okay, all those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, the next item up is new business and matters of urgency. Okay. Reading of bylaws. So we have to suspend procedural policies.
That council suspends the procedural policies to proceed with first, second, and third reading of bylaw 2920, being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of a lease agreement with Demella Group Limited regarding Part 1 of Plan 11R 8256, Art Raglan Street.
Okay, someone to move this? Councillor Oslach, seconded by Councillor Charlton. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's carried. Okay, 3 readings.
That council gives 3 readings to Bylaw 2920, being a bylaw to authorize the renewal of a lease agreement with Demella Group Limited regarding Part 1 of Plan 11R 8256, Part Raglan Street.
Okay, someone to move this? Councillor Chapman, seconded by Councillor Ham. Questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Next item up is inquiries by members. Okay. Statements and commit. Oh, sorry, Councillor Charlton. Did you have an inquiry?
Just about the farmers market. Is anything happening there, do you think?
I'd have to turn that over to Jenny. Jenny, would you mind answering that, please?
Certainly, through you, Your Worship. We are working on researching that information, and a report will be forthcoming.
Good, thank you.
Thank you. Any further inquiries? Okay. So we'll move on to statements and committee reports. Councillor Oslach. Your microphone's not on, Councillor Oslach.
Now it is.
Thank you.
We are very excited that the authority, Catford's Creek Conservation Authority, for our rebuilding of our stage, and with a generous donation from the Donna Veer Evans Bushnell Estate, we managed to they managed to donate $335,000 to rebuild our stage. Of course, as you realize, our stage is really not a stage; it's just a platform. So now we're rebuilding it, and Steelway is going to do it, and we're going to have a green roof on that. So we had a groundbreaking ceremony a week ago Tuesday, and I was there, but we also practiced social distancing. There was not very many people there, so but we're glad to have this donation, and we're looking forward to construction this fall or early this winter, and that's all I have to say, Mary.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Oslach. Are there any other statements or committee reports to share this evening? Okay. Next up is a report of the mayor. I just wanted to bring up one thing. I know that it's tough for our businesses in town, and I know it's tough for all businesses over the whole country and probably all over the world, but we have to look after Aylmer. So what I'm just going to report is that when our businesses need help, first of all, they certainly can reach out to our staff, and I'm sure they would be glad, and they have helped, give information. But let's not forget the County of Elgin. Our economic development director is Ellen Smith at the county. And I would encourage all businesses in Aylmer, if you have any questions, so if any of you are business people or business people, please have them get a hold of Ellen Smith, and he can help them get some information, direct them to where they need to go. He has contacts with a lot of different places where businesses can go and learn information and get help. So I'm just putting that out there to encourage people. I know that they're having a hard time, and I know it's very discouraging. And so I'm just saying that I believe that if they reach out, the more they can reach out and try and get that help, the better it will be. And again, I will mention that we've got to shop local and try to support our businesses here in Aylmer as much as we can. Notice of motion. Okay, so meeting closed to the public. We don't have one this evening. So adjournment.
That council do now adjourn at 7:29 p.m.
Okay, someone to move that? Deputy Mayor Andrews, and seconded by Councillor Chapman. Any questions or comments? All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you, and have a good evening.